Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. It is our end of the year special, and what a great show we have for you today. We are celebrating the announcement of Winfried Feneberg, who has just received the title of Superintendent of the Year in the state of New Hampshire. Now, he's from the Kearsarge Regional School District, and he is the superintendent, of course, nominated by Lorraine Taccone Moore. She's from John Stark Regional School District, that's SAU 24. So we are happy to bring you this show today here in YCN. Today, our Abby Peel will hear from three people that are in a unique position to reflect on this recognition. First, Kelly Collins, the principal at Kearsarge Regional Elementary School in New London. Michael Bissett, the assistant superintendent of the Kearsarge Regional School District. And Christine Mikowski, a longtime teacher of 6th grade social studies at the Kearsarge Regional Middle School. But first, these messages from our local businesses that are here for us during these challenging times. Remember, buying local is the best way to sustain our community.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Laura James. And you know, for years I had the privilege of teaching in the Kearsarge Regional School District. More importantly, raised my 2 children here. And that came from a commitment from our wonderful educators. And Abby Peel had the chance to sit down with one of those educators, Kelly Collins, who is the principal at New London Elementary School.
So we're here today talking about the exciting news that Winfried Feneberg has been named New Hampshire's Superintendent of the Year. And you obviously work really closely with him, knowing your position. So tell us a little bit about your relationship with him and why that honor is so deserved for Winfried.
Yeah, so he and I have been working together for, I think this is our 5th year together.
Great.
And really the best thing about Winfried is a sense of humor. And because I have a sense of humor, he does too. So immediately it was a great connection. Just very approachable and feeling like you're not in this alone ever. Just knowing that you can always go to him. He's there to solve problems, help you solve problems. If you have a solution to a problem, he's very supportive. That's huge for us as a building leader. You're constantly putting out fires. You are dealing with a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities, a lot of students, a lot of families in the community. And he is right there along with you, helping you, guiding you. Just, if you have a great decision, he supports you 100%. And he just has the nice tactful way if you don't have the best decision, or a nice, just a graceful way of saying, let's try something else.
That's amazing. And obviously this year is different, unlike any other year that we've ever seen because of COVID-19. And obviously the spring last year was different, having kids be fully at home. Now you have kids home and in school. And how does that work together? I mean, obviously principals must work closely with leadership to create what the school day looks like for each student.
Yeah, the fascinating thing that Winfried has to work around is 7 different towns and 7 different communities. And at the elementary level, there are 4 different elementary schools, all each with their own unique culture and climate. So navigating that is definitely tricky, but he's so good at bringing us all together and letting us keep our unique traditions and celebrating each individual school, but keeping us on the same page, on the same path, that same goal in mind. We have our leadership meetings twice a month. We're there. No matter what, we can turn a corner. That's the great thing about COVID is everybody's available at any time.
Sure. And the elementary level is the only school level of grades in the district that have the same multiple schools within the same grade. So you have 3 other colleagues that are also elementary school principals. Correct. From Sutton, Bradford, and Warner. And what's that like to be able to work together? You must have some times where you're like, hey, bouncing ideas off of another colleague at the same level.
Yeah, it's absolutely, it's incredible. The 4 principals talked every day for hours.
Yeah.
In March 13th, Friday, March 13th, we communicated daily. We are each other's rocks. So,
I'm sure.
And we've continued. You know, once kids came back in September, it got a little less and less time together on Zoom, but
Right.
we are constantly communicating.
That's amazing.
Yep, it's a tight partnership.
And we have a lot of community members that watch Yankee Chronicle here, and this year's been so unique. You haven't been able to have a fall open house where parents and grandparents can come in and see the classrooms and the libraries. Can you just give us a quick update on how things are going here at New London Elementary for people that are just dying to see inside here right now and they can't this year because of COVID?
Yeah, thanks for saying that. That's been the hardest thing for our KRESNL community. It's a very happy, open place. Parents are coming in the morning, they're picking up in the afternoon. Everyone is welcome. That's been the hardest thing, I think, for our parents. So we put into place, I think, October, and thanks for your help. We did Facebook Live, and we were just going live and showing students and classroom teachers, just the vibe of school. It's been going well.
Good.
Really good. I think parents and community members, without seeing it, had no idea what was going on.
Right.
What did recess look like?
Right.
And this was their way into the school. And I'm getting some good feedback, and
Good.
hopefully we can continue in the new year with
Good.
Facebook Live.
Yep.
But really great things are happening. Our teachers are just knocking socks off. They're phenomenal,
Good.
really creative, innovative, and honestly, with the support of Winfried, I mean, he has seen it too. When he walks through, your mind is blown. These teachers are pretty incredible.
I have to say, one time when I saw a kid, how quickly they could find the mute, unmute button on Zoom, and I thought that is something that we're all struggling with daily, and they just so quickly, they've adapted like it's no big deal, and it's the
Flawless.
rest of the adults that are just trying to figure this out. So it's really incredible, and it's great to hear an update from New London because people are just dying to know what's happening in here.
Yeah.
So this is great. Kelly, thanks so much for being our host and also for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Callie, very much. Now, we have the opportunity to speak with Michael Bissett, who's the Assistant Superintendent at Kearsarge Regional School District. We'll have that coming up, but first a word from the good businesses that support our community.
Warner's Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Laura James, your host, and today we are talking about Winfried Feneberg, who is the recipient of the New Hampshire Superintendent of the Year Award. We had the opportunity to speak with his fellow educators and colleagues to talk a little bit about why he was worthy of this award. We spoke with Michael Bissett, who gave us some details.
I think it starts with care. I believe in my heart that Winfried truly cares about every single person that he works with. He puts as much effort into working in any situation with any employee as any superintendent I've ever met. He truly believes in working to support the needs of the people he represents in terms of our community of educators, our community at large in terms of students and leaders. It's just an amazing experience to see somebody who is as dedicated to caring for other people in this line of work. So I say care starts it. I think the other thing that I believe that Winfried brings to the table is a wide range of experiences. He has worked in a variety of different settings, but some atypical to some of the superintendents that perhaps have climbed the more traditional ladder of teacher to principal to superintendent. He started his career more as a school psychologist, and I think that line of work helped to temper his perspective a little bit differently than perhaps some of his colleagues in a very positive way. He sees things sometimes that we might miss. And so it's been a rewarding experience to watch him work with other people and learn sometimes about the things that may not be as easily recognized when you may have taken that more traditional approach.
We asked Michael about Superintendent Feneberg's vision and how he implements it.
Well, there's two ways that I think that I can think of right out of the gate that kind of speak to that for him. The first one that I encountered when I first came here in 2016 was the strategic planning work that he's done to date. And were one to go back and take a look at how he designed the strategic plan, you would find very quickly that he keeps in mind the 7 towns and the very strong differences between the communities in the towns. But in so doing, he's created a mindful approach to thoughtfully creating goals and objectives under our mission that involve the voices of all of those constituents. And he works very hard to reach out and talk with and go out and visit the schools and the communities in those towns so that he has a full grasp and understanding of what it is that's valuable to them and what's important to them when developing an educational system around those desires. You'll find right out of the gate when you go through that strategic plan that even the process of that plan itself is an ongoing process. It's not a 3 and done, let's reinvent type of model. It's a sustained model that continues to evolve and grow over time, again, based on a lot of the needs of the community that he represents. And I think the most recent example for me is the way in which he's embraced and taken on the pandemic itself and the reopening plan, in which he picked 3 very specific targets or pillars, if you will, regarding how he envisioned the reopening of this district in incredibly challenging times. And so he focused on building pillars of safety. He wanted to have quality, and he also wanted to have equity.
Within the 3 pillars, we asked Michael to explain the third one, equity.
Well, one example, and there are many different types of equity that are out there, is financial equity. I mean, we can take a look at the representative populations within the 7 towns, and we have about 30 to 35% of our families that qualify for free and reduced lunches. So with that in mind, financial equity is a very big problem with the pandemic. It's a big problem across the board when it comes to sustaining a large school district. He focuses on trying to make sure that students and families have equitable experiences in the education, regardless of whether it's during the pandemic or during normal circumstances. It's very important to him to focus on creating projects and seeing those projects through that help to provide those students access to learning in a quality way. He's pushed very hard to make sure that our families and our students have solid one-to-one computing technologies. He's been a vocal advocate for trying to get internet saturation into towns and regions within our communities in support of families who need to work from home. He's constantly reflecting on how can he make the best experience for our 7 towns and their constituents and the children in particular, based on what we provide, not just what they bring to the table. So it's a balancing act of trying to represent all of their needs, some of which are financial. Other types of equity are balancing, for example, the point of view that the constituents want to bring forward. Not everybody wants to see their children go to a 4-year Harvard University. Some want to see their children move into the trades or applied trades and computers or whatnot. I think one of the things that I appreciate most in Winfried is his utter and complete respect for the family's choice as to what they see in the best interest of their own student and the student themselves, frankly, and their vision for what they want to learn.
We asked Michael if he had any closing thoughts.
I can't think of a person who deserved the Superintendent of the Year award more.
Wow, thank you so much, Michael. Well, when we return, Abby will be back and she'll be talking to Christine Mikowski, who is a beloved 6th grade social studies teacher at Kearsarge Regional Middle School. We're going to be talking about how the Superintendent of the Year met the challenges and helped his teachers and educators during this challenging year.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. With more frequent major weather events, don't say again, I should have installed a generator. H.R. Clough provides the best home generator systems available from Generac. Our highly trained personnel provide you a complete turnkey installation. For a free estimate, call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the Kearsarge Elementary School here in New London as we celebrate our new Superintendent of the Year of New Hampshire, Winfried Feneberg. And I'm now joined by Christine Mikowski, who's a social studies teacher for the past 22 years at the middle school. Hi, Christine.
Hi, it is great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And we should put it out on the table that you were my teacher back in the day.
Yes, Abby is one of my former students. I could look up all of her grades at any time. So,
oh, we'll save that for the end of the show.
So this is fun on a whole other level for me.
If we have time, yes. So obviously we're here celebrating Winfried and this amazing honor to have him be Superintendent of the Year for New Hampshire. What are some of his strengths when you think of Winfried?
Yeah, sure. So it has been a long-standing tradition in the Kearsarge School District that at the beginning of every school year, the superintendent announces a word for the year.
Yes.
Right. So this is just a theme. It kind of ties us all together. It is something we keep in the forefront of our mind as we go about our practice. And so back in August, Winfried said that the word of the year is going to be together. And I couldn't agree more. What a perfect word.
Sure.
So, so he has gone into this with the message of together we're stronger. And I think that one just amazing aspect of Superintendent Feneberg is just he really pulled us together and united us. His thought was, this is not a year for perfection. This is a year for collaboration. This is a year for teamwork. This is a year to lean on each other. And depend on each other, and that's exactly what everybody has done. So he's been able to unify us. And just another strength of Superintendent Feneberg is he's really gone into this as the glass is half full. He has said, this is an opportunity for us to do our best, and this is an opportunity for us to work even more closely with the Kearsarge community families.
Right.
So
while being 6 feet apart and having all these new regulations, and he's really made it still be a together community. That's really impressive.
Yeah, great choice on a word.
Yeah,
yes, great choice on a word.
Yeah, and what's it like working on a team with Superintendent Feneberg?
So back in March 2020, the landscape of education has really changed, and we've all had to go back and define kind of what is normal for us. And as a veteran teacher, I often feel like I'm a first-year teacher. I don't have blueprints to go back to. I've never taught 6th grade completely online.
Right.
So it is a lot of revamping, for sure. And so what is it like to be on a team? Well, first of all, Superintendent Feneberg has gone into every action plan with safety and wellness first, which has been just a lot to think about.
Yep.
And I guess a good metaphor is I feel like I'm a surgeon that just finished medical school, and it's like I'm going into my first surgery, and I have this body here that I'm about to operate on, and I feel like I've got my hand out, and I'm asking people for tools like scalpel, wrench, or whatever a surgeon would ask for, and it's like I shouldn't be nervous because I have all the medical school and the bookwork behind me, but it's my first surgery. And so, there are some unknowns.
Sure.
And here I am with my hand out, and I've got Superintendent Feneberg, I have the Municipal Budget Committee, I've got the school board, I've got all the administration in our district, the IT department.
Yes.
I mean, I've got this entire team of people, the SAU team, and they are handing me tools like a fresh KN95 mask every day, right? Wipes for the desk. We're cleaning the desks every hour and a half at school. The gloves, the hand sanitizer, and just the technology has been amazing. The webcam, I've got 2 screens on my desk now. I've got all kinds of high-tech microphones so the kids at home can hear what the conversation that's happening in my class. And I probably have a bunch of other things there, Abby, that I just don't even know because it's so much.
And you just do it.
And we just do it. And this team has been absolutely amazing. And I feel like just another great aspect of being on a team with this district and under the leadership of Superintendent Feneberg reminds me of one of my favorite quotes, which is from the movie Remember the Titans. And it's this conversation between these two characters, Julius and Gary. And Julius is like, hey, I'm not putting anything into this team. And Gary says, well, that's a bad attitude. And Julius says, well, attitude reflects leadership. And I think that's really, really true because Superintendent Feneberg has fostered a community and a culture that really supports teachers. I have felt so appreciated.
Amazing.
And by the families. So many people have come out and just said, thanks for all that you're doing.
Right.
And so the team has been really strong. Again, back to the word together.
Right.
It's been amazing.
Amazing. He's really, I mean, it's been so deserving. We've spent a lot of time talking about why he's so deserving, but to see how school is still in session, that you're all okay, you're all figuring it out, and that there's still books on the shelf in the library, I think that's the important part.
That's right.
Yeah,
that is correct.
It's not this bubble that no one's, having fun in. You're doing it just a little differently.
We're doing it differently, and we are together.
That's so fun. Well, Christine, I really appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for helping us celebrate Winfried.
Thank you, and well-deserved award for him. Congratulations, Winfried. We're all proud of you.
Absolutely.
So, thank you, Abby.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christine. Now, today's interview would not be complete without hearing from the New Hampshire Superintendent of the Year himself. Abby will be talking to Winfried Feneberg about how he motivated his staff and the district as a whole during these challenging times. We'll also hear from some of our local businesses who helped us during these times as well.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, coming to you from the Kearsarge Regional Elementary School here in New London, and we're really excited to be sitting with New Hampshire's Superintendent of the Year, Winfried Feneberg. Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A huge honor for you, and we're really excited to hear about all the things that you have done, part of being superintendent. But first off, let's start with, what does this honor mean to you?
Well, it was a wonderful surprise, and it's just really special to be recognized by your peers in the state. And in fact, it's a honor that comes from the national organization, the American Association for School Superintendents.
Okay.
And then it's administered in every one of the states. So every state picks one superintendent of the year. And this time it was me. So I'm just really thrilled. It was wonderful to hear.
And who are the people who nominated you for this position? Do you know?
Well, yes, I did actually, and when I heard first, I was even more surprised. It was one of my colleagues from the Henniker School District, the retired superintendent, Dr. Lorraine Tacconi Moore, and then others did write supportive letters, like our assistant superintendent, Mr. Bissett, and our school board chair, Ken Bartholomew.
So obviously this is a unique year, so we'll push COVID aside for right now. What are some of your accomplishments since being superintendent that you would like to brag about? What are some of your accomplishments?
Well, I think the most important piece really here is that we have created a learning environment for our students with teachers that are highly qualified and so committed to the district. We have good principals, and we're able to hire some after others had retired and moved on. That I feel we have a very strong educational team here in Kearsarge. We have a ton of community support. Our parents are wonderful. The 7 communities in the district have just been very supportive through our budgets and any kind of initiatives we try to bring forward.
And this is a really unique district because we have so many towns into one district, and the amount of miles that this district covers is really unique, but also backgrounds too. You have kids that come from all different types of backgrounds, farming, and really a unique bunch of students that make up each school.
It's a real diverse district, and that I think gives the district some strength. The other thing I've been very pleased that the district has really been in existence over 50 years. My first year or my second year, we tried to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the district. That was certainly a highlight. And in these days, it's increasingly difficult to keep cooperative districts together.
Right.
And I think we have experience and people realize that there is strength associated with the cooperation, and that what each town could never do for their students by themselves, we can do as a whole, as a regional district.
I've always thought one of the interesting facts about the school district is how many miles a day a bus drives, because you're covering so much territory, going to so many different schools and so many different towns. And I think that really speaks volumes to just where all these students are coming from.
Yeah, well, we notice it with snow days. When there's weather events, we certainly notice the mileage driven. It's almost a million miles that we drive through our buses every year to get our students to events and to daily attendance. So it's the 7 towns are far apart, and we have wonderful bus company, obviously, that have helped us out in all these years, and we make sure that our students get to all the regional schools that they need to go to.
So obviously we are sitting 6 feet apart with masks on. It's a unique year. How has the Kearsarge School District adapted to all the precautions you've had to take in order to keep everyone safe?
Well, that's certainly another point of pride, that our objective was for this school year to reopen and make it possible for the maximum amount of students to come back to school. Because certainly the spring was a wake-up call for all of us, including parents, to see what schools do on a daily basis for kids, for the community, and for everybody who lives here. And certainly when in March we had to close school because of the governor's declaration, it was very difficult for many families. And we realized that, made a very thorough plan over the summer. And then reopened with a very unique option of remote at school and remote at home, where students received the same instruction at school that they did at home. We spaced our students out 6 feet at least apart. We asked them to wear masks. Our teachers used technology to instruct kids, and it's been very successful so far.
Amazing. Well, I think that all encompasses why you are New Hampshire's Superintendent of the Year. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Abby, and congratulations to Superintendent Feneberg. Superintendent Feneberg was chosen for the honor due to his strengths as a communicator, the positive influence he has on staff throughout the district, and the spirit of inclusion he's fostered throughout the district, ensuring that student, staff, and community voices are heard and considered. School Board Chair Ken Bartholomew said, Winfried has a deep appreciation for the unique cultural, demographic, and geographical qualities of the 7 towns that make up the Kearsarge Regional School District, and he takes great care to ensure that all of the communities are represented and heard during the decision-making process. He is tremendously deserving of this honor, and we're grateful for this thoughtful stewardship of our school district. Now, next week, we're going to be continuing our investigation into local businesses and how they have met the challenges of this time. It'll be hosted by Ledyard Financial Services, and a visit with Doug Phillips, Chief Investment Officer of this top management firm that provides integrated investment, tax, banking, and wealth management services. Jean Connolly of the Center for the Arts will give us a New Year's update on coming events. We go on location with Nancy Bloomfield of the Family Place in Norwich. Our YCN Game of the Week returns at noon on Sunday, January 17th. Other YCX programming includes Outside Television's original shows. Check them out today. Join us again next week for another edition of the Who, What, and When show of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region. I'm Laura James. Stay safe, everyone.